My name is Lucas Arsenault. I'm here from Prince Edward Island. Grew up in Wellington, a small French community. I grew up kiteboarding on the east coast here, Prince Edward Island. I've worked in Turks and Caicos in the Caribbean. After I graduated high school, I've spent over a year of my life there. Going back last year in May was just another trip like any other trip. The way that Turks and Caicos works is there's a barrier reef on the outside, and that's where all the nice fish hang out, and that's where it's way more fun to snorkel because you're gonna see way more, right? So the reef is a mile offshore, off the island, so we drive out there. So I'm swimming probably like a minute and a half in off the boat, and I look up and I can see my dad's over here, the guys are behind him. I said, this is the spot right here. What I do normally is I come out of the water, I catch my breath before I'm about to dive down. So as I'm coming up, I'm breathing deep, talking to my dad, and then I get this huge impact in my ribs. And when I turned and I saw the face of the shark pushing against me on my ribs right here, right? So my initial reaction was put your hands on it, push it away. So as I pushed him away, I pushed him like kind of perfectly on my leg. It locked onto my knee, and that's where it started crunching and holding on. So it's squeezing onto my leg and it's pulling me down towards the bottom of the reef. And as I get pulled down, I'm punching it, trying to get out. I'm doing some damage to my hand. I have my other foot and my hand in his mouth to try to pry it open. But the jaw strength of a shark of this size, you know, is something that I can't even describe. Luckily, the shark pulled me back up. Then all of a sudden, it pulls me down for round 2. That's where I was able to see the face again, and it was vivid and clear in front of me as it was pulling me down, and that's where I saw the eye sockets on both sides right here. And it's pretty much as soon as I got my fingers in his eye socket, it let go like, instantly. During the attack, you know, my dad's close to me, my girlfriend's right there, they heard it all, they've seen it, they're screaming, they're doing everything they can. But during the attack, they all swam back to the boat to try to come get me with the boat. So what was perfect about it is when the shark let go and I was swimming back up to the surface, the boat was already on its way. And this is where everybody on the boat played such a vital role to get me to the next point. Luckily, my girlfriend has been in the health field for 10 years, and her instant reaction was like, there's no time to be sad, we need to tie his leg and stop the bleeding, right? So her reaction is grab the rash guard, grab something, let's tie the leg. So she's all over it. Meanwhile, this is happening. My dad kind of snapped out of it and started driving the boat because he thought, okay, we need to each go. And there was one guy on the boat that couldn't see blood, so he was in the front of the boat calling 911. But again, someone needed to do that, right? Like everybody had a step. The other two was there holding my leg up, trying to keep my pathway clear to breathe. Like a miracle. There's a doctor on the dock. He knew immediately it was a shark bite. There hasn't been many shark attacks in Turks and Caicos, but 12 years ago, 15 years ago, there was one, and he was the doctor on the same dock at the same spot. And he yelled to other people, you need to go get the tourniquet in my boat and the oxygen tank in my boat. They managed to get the real tourniquet on, which stopped the bleeding 100%, which was fantastic. And I was rushed to the hospital eventually when the ambulance came. They're talking to my family, like, you know, you realize we have to amputate the leg. We're gonna do everything we can to keep him alive. There's not enough time to fly anywhere. We have to try the surgery here. Surgery took so long, mainly because of the leg, they had to repair a lot of damage. You know, I lost about 4 or 5 inches above the knee, but there was a lot of damage all the way up to the hip, so the doctor did a fantastic job, so I would have the longest limb possible to work with. You know, we took a medical flight. This was 18 hours after the attack, surgery. I was on the medical flight back from Turks and Caicos to Toronto. Once we finally regulated things in Toronto, time to start working on building up again. The big concern was, do we want to go back to the East Coast on Prince Edward Island where it's such a small community, small island? Do they have the services to, you know, help me out? Dr. Heinrich called directly, which was fantastic, as it really gave me a good feeling of talking to someone from here. And then I also had Gabe, the prosthetist, call as well. So between speaking to those two guys and really understanding, like, okay, what are the steps from here in the Toronto hospital bed to back to walking? And the goal was further than walking. You know, when I got back here, I really felt like we made the right decision, because not only was the team fantastic and the technology here is just as good as anywhere else, but I was close to family, just home cooked meals and visits and whatnot, and all those little things that you really appreciate to being back home. And after about a month, it was time to come start shaping the socket back here in Charlottetown, and every day we worked with the local physio team here. And, you know, from physio to occupational therapy, we had a great team. After my rehab was getting along, that's where Gabe and Todd really got more involved and said, okay, well, now you're walking, your goals are much higher. What do we have to do with the tools to get you to where you want to be? That's where the guys here really like made it amazing for me, because they got such a personal investment in it as well. So we got a specific leg made for kiteboarding so I could return to the water. In November last year, I went back to Turks and Caicos, kind of made peace with the ocean. I really wanted to kind of make things better and like rewrite the script in some sense. So we got engaged 6 months exactly to the day after my attack, which is something crazy that you would have never thought I would have had the opportunity to do. It was almost taken away from me. So I got down on my fake knee, and slightly different picture to what we imagined, but it worked out really nice and very lucky. After my experience, I have nothing but good things to say, and I could say that when the system, when you really need it, it's there for you, thanks to amazing people who donate and amazing people who support it all, right? Without this, I don't have a life, I'm done. I owe it all to the community that supports the hospital like this. So it's just unbelievable how many people it takes to bring one person back to health. If you count the amount of people, it's mind-boggling. So I'm very appreciative for everyone and the staff as well, not just the donors. So thank you.